Hello, welcome to the Explore YouTube channel. So today we are going to continue with the series of basically important Python concepts, which are again going to be helpful in solving some of the MCQs and even most of the MCQs, by the way. So basically today we are going to focus on exception handling in Python. Okay, so what is an exception handling and how we can go about learning it? So basically I've divided this into a few steps here, by the help of which we are going to be able to learn in a proper manner. So the first one is saying that, okay, what is exception handling? So if I talk about an exception, let's just break this down. Exception handling, right? Exception handling. So just break this down. This is going to be exception first and then handling, right? If I'm not wrong. So in that case, let's understand one of these things. So handling means that what? So basically, if I'm just given number, suppose 11, so I'm going to handle it, right? That's what the handling terminology says. What if I say that, okay, 11, is it divisible by 2? No, right? So I'm going to handle it. No, it's not divisible. If it's divisible, yes. So handling is a very small terminology. I hope you are familiar with it. Now, what is an exception? So basically what will happen is that, okay, you are writing lots of codes. I mean, lots of lines of codes. So basically, suppose there's a number a is equivalent to suppose 10. Okay. And you perform some operation like print, or not really print, okay, not really print. You perform some operation like b is equivalent to 10 by 2. In that case, you're going to get a value 5.0 to b, right? But what if you perform some operation like 10 by 0 is equivalent to what? So you might be saying, okay, this might be 10 or infinity. No, this is going to be throwing an error. Okay, this is going to be throwing an error. Or more appropriately, this term can be used for exception. I mean, this error can be used as a replacement for exception. So in this case, this is going to throw me nothing but a zero division error. Zero division error. This is what the error will look like. Okay. So just for a quick instance, I'm just going to go to this website, pythontutor.com. I think this is much more familiar to you guys because I have explained about this website in the previous video. I mean, I've introduced this website in the previous video. So suppose I have a number a is equivalent to 10 and I write something like 10 by 2. So this is going to give me happily 5, right? I mean, this won't be really a thing. See, if I go to last, b is equivalent to 5. Okay. What if I have something like 10 by 0? In that case, look what's going to happen in the next step. It's going to say that, okay, zero division error, right? Integer division or modulo by 0. So basically, if I divide a number by 0, that's going to throw me an error. That's one of these errors. So this is nothing but the exception handling. Okay. So basically in a program, you will be by unknown. See, definitely when you are writing a program, you won't be causing some error on your own, right? You won't be causing some error on your will. It might be like, okay, you are just typing something and then by mistake you typed 0 and then you just went about programming, right? I mean, writing the code. So we are going to handle all of these exceptions, and this process is known as exception handling. Okay, right now let's see what the next topic says. Examples. Okay, we are going to take a look at some of the examples, like some of the most common examples. So this is one of those examples, zero division error. What if I have some variable equal to a is equal to 10? Okay, what if I write that, okay, if a is less than equal to 10, in that case, suppose, okay, not really less than equal to 10, but suppose I have something like this. If a is greater than equal to 10, in that case, b is suppose 5. Okay, and in the next step, I'm going to print b. In the next step, I'm going to print b. So what will happen in this case is, okay, 10 is greater than equal to 10, so b is equivalent to 5. So this is one of those answers. I will get 5, not an issue at all. Okay, but what if I write something like this? If a is greater than 10, in that case, a is 10 and 10 is not greater than 10, right? So this won't execute, this line won't execute. And in the next line, when I'm printing b, I can see that, okay, there is no variable b in my program. So we are going to get something called, up here, we are going to get something called name error. Name error. So let's try to see with respect to this. So I have a is equivalent to 10, suppose. Let's take a random number, suppose 1, 1, 1, 2. Okay. If a is suppose greater than equivalent to 112, in that case, b is 56, or maybe just take a 34. Okay. And then in the next line, I'm just going to print b. See, right now it's not going to throw me an error. Like right now it's going to print 34 at and in one go, right? Not an issue at all. But what if I do something like this? Is it greater than 112 or is it greater than 200? No, right? I mean 1200, no, right? So b34 won't be initialized and therefore print b. So b is never initialized, right? So it's going to throw me something called name error. You can see that name error. Name b is not defined. So this is also one of those exception or error, as you may feel like calling it. Another exception is that, okay, what if you have some array? Okay, what if you have some array? or basically in Python you kind of represent that array in a list format. Okay, so this is a list. Suppose the elements are 1, 5, 8 and then 2, and you kind of want to access a of 0, or not really a of 0. Suppose you want to access 0, 1, 2, 3, a of 3, so that will be accessed and you will get the value 2. But what if you want to access a of 4? Then in that case you will be thrown an exception which is kind of known as index out of bound exception. Index out of bounds exception. That's what you will be thrown. Okay, so let's see with respect to that. Suppose I'm just going to create a random list here. L is nothing but suppose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm gonna print, suppose I'm gonna print L of 4. So it's going to happily give me the value 5, right? And it won't be a problem at all. You can see 5 is coming. But what if I just have an index like 5 which is out of bound, right? So it's going to throw me something called index error. Okay, so basically what I've written here is index out of bound, kind of means same, like it kind of translates to the same. But up here we can see that in programming terminologies, in specifically Python, you have something called index error, and that kind of is same, right? List index out of range. So these are few of the sort of like the exceptions which we are going to handle. We're going to learn to handle. Okay, great examples have been done. Try and except. Now what is try and except? So basically I'm going to explain it in the easiest way possible. In the try block, you write the statement in this way, try, and then you put a colon here, right? There's a single colon here, and then up here you're going to write some statement, right? Some statement you will be writing, or you can see that, okay, piece of code, and then you will be pairing that try with except. Okay, you will be pairing that try with except, and again up here some statement will you be writing. Okay, you will be writing some statement. So what really will be the statements in these two blocks? I mean, I cannot just randomize the statements, right? So in the try block, I'll be writing that code which might throw exception, okay, this is very important. This line is very important. I'm going to write up here the lines of code which I feel like, okay, this may or may not throw an exception. Okay, if it throws an exception, good. If it's not throwing an exception, that's also good. So if it's throwing an exception, the control statement will come to except block, and whatever the statement is here, it will execute it perfectly. So up here, suppose I'm gonna write simply like print exception occurred, right? So exception occurred, I'll write something like that. So that's going to be it. So the bottom line is that, okay, in try and except, basically in try block, you write the lines of code which might throw an exception, and the except block, you kind of handle that exception. So kind of exception handling, right? Exception handling, that's it. So let's try to do that. So up here I'm going to just write the try keyword here. By the way, this T won't be capital here, it will be small, right? So in the explanation part, diagrammatic part, I've written T capital, so I'll just small case it. And up here also I believe so E should be small. Let's see, try is here, and I'm going to write something like suppose my variable A is initialized with 11, and in the next step I'm going to write B is equivalent to 11 by 0. Okay, except statement will come here, except clause more appropriately will come here. So except, I'm going to print here that, okay, some exception occurred. Okay, some exception occurred, not an issue at all. So as of now, when I execute this, see, 11 by 0 is going to be a problematic thing, right? So it's not going to so initially it was throwing a zero division error, right? Right now, since I've written an exception block here, or the except block here, what it will do, it will go up here and print whatever the statement is here. See, if I just go to the next statement, try, B is equal to 11 by 0. Now it knows that, okay, it's zero division error, right? So it won't throw me zero division error, my program won't terminate here. See, next line, it goes to accept. Very important, right? See, from this line, it was highlighting, and then next line, it's going to accept, and then it's going to print some exception occurred. That's it. That's pretty much it. Now, what if I don't write it? What if I don't write it, right? What if I don't write it? Then in that case, nothing will happen, right? I mean, nothing will be printed. You can see nothing is printed, and the B value is 5.5, fine, right? But if I had a 0 here, then some exception occurred. Now, this is pretty much it. This is pretty much it. So let's try to see what we have in the further section. Can we catch a specific exception? Quite important. Okay, so can we catch a specific exception? Let's see. So what if I say that, okay, I have some array, which is having 1, 2, 3 and elements, and then I have a variable B which is initialized to suppose 10. In the try block, I perform any one of these operations. Okay, I perform any one of these operations. Suppose I perform something like C is equivalent to B by 0. C is equivalent to B by 0. In that case, I kind of want to have different cases here. So by default, except is going to catch any error or any exception which kind of comes up. But what if I want to catch only zero division error? So I can just simply write except zero division error. Very important, okay? Except zero division error, and whatever the statement will follow. Again, if it's about the array index out of bound exception, in the next line I'll just write except index error, okay, and I'll just demonstrate in a moment, and the statement will come up here. Let's see with respect to some examples. Suppose this A is there and there was a list comprising of elements 1 2 3 4 and 5, as usually we do, okay, and B is equivalent to 11 by 0. So except the first one is going to be zero division error, okay, zero division error. And up here what I'm going to do is that, okay, you are dividing the number by 0. So that's something which will be thrown. Except one more thing, suppose index error, quite important again, and then up here print, I'm going to print suppose you are accessing index out of bounds. That's it, you are accessing index out of bounds. So as of now, which except block will turn out, which except block will run? So up here you can see that, okay, I've specified here, right, I've specified some exceptions, so it will run for that exception itself. Very important. In this case, B is equal to 11 by 0, not really 11. Suppose I write B is equal to A by 0. So this is going to throw me zero division error. So you are dividing the number by 0. See if I'm not wrong, this is going to throw me you are dividing the number by 0. Okay, what if I wrote something like this? Suppose I'm gonna write something like this: print list of suppose 6, which is going to throw me an error because 6 is kind of out of bound here, right? So let's see, it's going to throw me in the except index error block. It will come in and it's going to print this line: you are accessing index out of bounds. If I'm not wrong, you are accessing index out of bounds is the correct output. Let me just expand it a little bit. That's it. So this is how you can specify a particular exception. Okay, what if the particular exception does not exist? What if I want to do something like this, print C? So up here C does not exist, right? So it's going to throw me name error. But as of now, I can see that there is nothing as such, right? So if I visualize this, you can see that, okay, nothing is happening. But what if I want to print that, okay, some name error was occurring? In that case, again, I can just simply write suppose except name error. Cool enough. And in the next line, I'll just simply print suppose the variable is not defined properly. That's it. Now let's see what this is going to throw me. So this should be variable and not variable. Okay, cool. In the next line, it's going to throw me that variable is not defined properly because C does not exist here, right? That's something we can see, and that's pretty much it. Okay. What if I don't perform? I mean, what if I don't write anything here? Then by default, if the exception is not this one or it's not this one, then by default it's going to run for this, right? So in this case, suppose this is it, right? So it's going to run and you can see it's running properly. But what if I had something like here, suppose I had name error here, then it's going to throw me suppose you are accessing index out of bounds exception for print C. Okay, it's going to throw me you are accessing index out of bound exception. Okay, what if I have something like suppose I'm accessing L of 6 here? So as of now, index error it should give, right? So is this index error? No. Is this index error? No. So by default, except will throw me this one. The variable is not defined properly. I hope you get my point. You can see here, right? So that's it. So you have to kind of define these statements properly with respect to whatever you are writing here. That's it. With respect to that, let's continue. So we have try with else statement. Like, are you serious, right? Like we kind of use the else statement with if block, right? So if I'm not wrong, we have kind of used if something will occur, else I'll write something. That's it, right? If this condition matches, I'll execute this statement 1, else I'll execute this statement 2. That's what we do. But up here also we can use else. Let's see how. So what I'm going to do is the pattern follows like this. You first write try, then you write except, then you write except. So maybe I was just suppose so what I'm going to do is that suppose I'll have A is equivalent to L of 5. And this won't be really throwing me an error, right? So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this might throw me an error. So A is suppose L of 4. I'm reinitializing A, or maybe I can just remove A here. And in the except block, I'm going to have something like print. So whatever the error this might bring us is nothing but the index out of bound exception, right? So index out of bounds. This is the only exception which we can kind of come up with the following code. Else part will come here, and up here I'm just gonna print suppose a. So what is this going to throw me? So up here it's going to go list is 1 2 3 4 5 done. Try a is L of 4, so 5. So this kind of executed perfectly, so it won't go to this except block and it will go to this else block. So what's really happening is that, okay, if it ever goes to except block, then it won't go to else block. If it goes to else block, it won't go to except block. That's it. So it kind of makes sense, right? See, if except condition is occurred, then what's the use of printing it, right? Else, if the except condition is not occurring, then this else statement will be printed. So as of now, my output should be 5 if I'm not wrong. So let's see, my output is 5. Okay, what if I was trying to access it out of bounds? Suppose 5, or maybe I just write 100. In this case, index out of bounds will be there, and this print a statement won't be executed. See, if I just run it, index out of bounds comes, and then print a is not executing. So this is how you can pair up else with try and except. If ever you come across this else statement, don't be confused that, okay, I used if and else, but up here try, except, and else is there. So this is the format: try, except, and else. This is how you use it. Okay, great. This is all about else. Let's see. Then we have finally keyword. Now what is a finally keyword? So it's basically like an oxygen. Why am I saying that? See, whenever you are kind of living your life on a day-to-day basis, you kind of tend to have days when you don't take bath, right? You kind of tend to have days when you don't take bath. Great. You kind of have miss out on some meals. Suppose lunch, you kind of miss out on lunch, and then you had a heavy food after noon. You have a heavy food after evening, and then so on, right? But there's something which you cannot miss out on. That's oxygen, right? So that's kind of compulsory. Just to understand the term compulsory here. Why am I saying that? Because in programming, finally is nothing but a block of basically finally clause is used to make sure that, okay, whatever the statements I'm writing here, irrespective of whatever my program is doing, it's going to run for surety. So let's see, with respect to that, suppose I'm going to write here finally. That's how you're going to use this keyword. Okay, why did I use that oxygen reference? You might seem like that, okay, it's out of reference, right? But just get my point. It's compulsory, like it's going to be useful here. Okay, finally. So basically what will happen is that, okay, this is the block of code which is always going to run. So block of code which is always going to run. That's it. Now let's see what we can do. Suppose I'm just going to write a gibberish here, right? So I'm just going to write some random characters here. That's it. Now this is going to run for every time. See, as of now, suppose I was accessing L of 2, which is nothing but 3. So it's going to print 3, and it's also going to print this, right? See, it's going to print 3 and it's also going to print this. What if my program was throwing an exception? Suppose I'm accessing 7. Then it's going to print index out of bound exception, and it does not care. It sees that there's a finally block, so it will print this. See, if I just run this, that will print this, irrespective of whatever my program is throwing me. That's it. So that's it about the exception and exception handling. Like, you can just kind of play with it. You can just go with multiple statements there in the try block and see which except block is getting executed, and then so on. So I hope the explanation was quite clear enough. If you like the video, do make sure to subscribe the channel as well. Thank you.